Beyond Earth, a journey of isolation and inspiration. The year was 2050, and humanity had made incredible strides in space exploration. A team of astronauts had been sent on a long-term mission to explore the furthest reaches of our solar system. One of these astronauts was Jason, a seasoned space traveler who had been on multiple missions before. However, this mission was different. It was to be his longest mission yet, spanning over 2 years. At first, Jason was excited about the mission. He had trained for years for this opportunity, and he was determined to make the most of it. The crew consisted of 6 other astronauts, but Jason was the only one who had been on long-term missions before. He knew how to handle the isolation, the long hours of nothingness, and the monotony of the mission. The first few months were a breeze. The crew settled into a routine, and Jason kept himself busy with maintenance, experiments, and communication with mission control. He even managed to catch up on some reading and watched a few movies on the ship's entertainment system. But as time passed, Jason began to feel the effects of isolation. He missed his family and friends back on Earth. And the thought of being away from them for so long started to weigh heavily on him. He tried to keep busy, but the hours stretched on, and he found himself spending more and more time alone. The emptiness of space was crushing. The vast void that surrounded him was suffocating, and it seemed like he was the only living being in the entire universe. It was lonely in a way that he had never experienced before, and it made him feel small and insignificant. He started to have vivid dreams of his loved ones, but they only made him feel more isolated. He would wake up in the middle of the night, feeling disoriented and lonely. The silence in the ship was deafening, and the only sound he heard was the hum of the ship's engines. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The mission was taking its toll on Jason, and he felt like he was losing touch with reality. He had never felt so alone in his life. He started to wonder if he would ever see his loved ones again. One day, an alarm went off in the ship, signaling that the oxygen levels were dangerously low. Jason rushed to the control room, only to find that there was a leak in one of the oxygen tanks. He tried to fix it, but the damage was too severe. He tried to contact mission control, but the signal was too weak. He was on his own. He started to panic, his mind racing with thoughts of dying alone in space. He had never felt so scared in his life. He tried to think of a solution, but his mind was foggy, and he couldn't concentrate. He sank down in his chair, feeling the weight of the situation crush down on him. But then, he remembered a trick his grandfather had taught him when he was a kid. He used to say that when things got tough, all he had to do was look up at the stars and remember that he was just a tiny speck in the grand scheme of things. It always made him feel better. He looked out at the stars, and for the first time in weeks, he felt a sense of awe and wonder. The stars were like jewels, shining brightly in the dark void. They were a reminder of the vastness of the universe, and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. He realized that he was a part of something greater, something that was beyond his comprehension. He had been given the opportunity to explore the unknown, to push the boundaries of human knowledge and understanding. In that moment, he found a new sense of purpose. He refused to let the isolation and loneliness of space defeat him. He drew on all his strength and experience, and found a solution to the problem. It took several hours of hard work, but he finally managed to stabilize the oxygen levels. He breathed a sigh of relief and collapsed into his chair, exhausted but inspired. The stars had given him hope and courage, and he felt grateful for their beauty and wonder. From that day on, Jason looked at the stars differently. They were no longer a reminder of his isolation. They were a reminder of the vastness and complexity of the universe. He spent hours looking at them, wondering about the mysteries they held and imagining what other wonders were waiting to be discovered. The months passed, and Jason faced new challenges and emotions. He felt awe and amazement at the sights and sounds of space. He was astonished by the beauty of the nebulae, the colors of the planets, and the sound of silence. He was amazed by the resilience of the human body, and how it could adapt to the harsh environment of space. But he also felt lonely and isolated. The other crew members were good companions, but he missed the sound of laughter, the warmth of a hug, and the comfort of human touch. He missed his family and friends, and he longed to go back to Earth. Despite the challenges, Jason remained determined to complete the mission. He knew that he was a part of something greater, something that would benefit humanity for generations to come. He was inspired by the thought that he was making history, that he was contributing to the advancement of human knowledge and understanding. As the mission came to an end, Jason felt a mix of emotions. He was excited to return to Earth, to see his family and friends again, and to experience the familiar sights, sounds, and smells of his home planet. But he was also sad to leave the emptiness and wonder of space behind. As he walked out of the ship, he felt the sun on his face and the wind in his hair. He smelled the fresh air and felt the ground beneath his feet. He hugged his family and friends tightly, feeling the warmth of their embrace and the joy of their reunion. As he looked up at the stars that night, he felt a sense of awe and wonder once again. He had been changed by his experience in space, and he knew that he would never forget it. The loneliness, the wonder, the awe, and the inspiration of space would stay with him for the rest of his life. Thanks for watching. More stories coming soon.